Okay, today we're going to be preparing our materials for the expressive face drawing, our portrait. And the first thing you'll get is a piece of paper from the sketchbooks we got in art last year. These papers are really nice, thick drawing papers. And you're going to need to just clean up the edge a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for the perforation. There's a little dotted line right here. And I'm going to try to carefully bend the edge all the way down the perforation, just to get it nice and clean, you know, saving the planet here, people. And I'm gonna flip it over, bend it the other way. And then this should be ready for me to just rip off, and then I'll have a perfect rectangle. Let's see if that's the case. Here we go. Okay, now my drawing paper is ready. The next thing you'll need are some art materials and math materials, right? You need a pencil. That's an H pencil. We're only using H pencils today because you'll be erasing the lines you make, and these are best for erasing. You'll also need a ruler, and you remember, rulers in this case are going to be used for straight lines. We're actually not going to use these for measuring today, just making straight lines. So we're not using them to drum on the table, bend, hit other people, eat, throw, or anything else that doesn't involve just setting it on the table and using it to make a straight line. Your table will be using one of these. It's a template. This template has a 1-inch grid on it, and we're going to use it kind of as a cheat to put a 1-inch grid on our photo and our drawing paper. It has directions on it, and we're going to be reusing these class to class, so just leave them on your table. Don't put them in your folder when you're done. The first thing you're going to do is mark the grid lines on your drawing paper in your photo. Let me show you how that works. Okay, I'm going to take my template and set it in the middle of my paper. My paper is a little bit bigger than the template, and I'm going to do what's called eyeballing it, which is trying to make kind of an even border around all sides. We're going to give you guys a little piece of tape that you can use just to hold the paper in place. Now, I said little piece of tape, and I meant it. So you're going to just take off the smallest piece possible, and you're just going to put it in between two little notch marks and just barely push it down onto your drawing paper. This one actually I could break into two and give to a friend at my table. I'm going to put that on the other side right there. Tap it down, and now I'm ready to do the notch marks. Choose a corner where you're going to start, and all you're going to do is just continue the little notch mark for each inch onto your drawing paper. So if you see here, you can see my little dots. All I've done is just continued the squares on the grid and drop down onto my drawing paper all the way around the template. Okay, so I went all the way around, just continuing these notch marks onto my paper, and I'm going to carefully remove the tape like that. Just pop it off, and now I have all the notch marks. I could give this to somebody else to use. I could reuse it just with the same tape. I don't even have to get new tape. Now, time for the ruler. Now you're going to make parallel lines. You're going to line up the little marks that you made on the left side and the right side. Okay, and you're going to go across with your H pencil, making a light line connecting the two. Make sure you use your other hand to hold down the ruler so it doesn't move while you're doing it. While you're working, this would be a great time not to bother each other, right, and interrupt each other. I'm holding it down, a nice light line. Okay, move up to the next set of notches. Pencil, nice light line. The idea is later you'll be able to erase this line, and you'll just have your drawing. You'll kind of hide the evidence of using the grid. There's nothing wrong with using a grid, but it's something that you don't need to have at the end. So I'm going to go all the way up. See how light my lines are? I can see them, but they're easily erasable later. Okay, I've got all of my horizontal lines in this case. Now it's time for me to start lining up the other side of the grid. Start at the top here and go down so that I'm making a full grid of squares. When you do the lines, you don't have to go all the way to the edge of the paper. You can just start right here where the little notch mark was, and then just go all the way across to the other notch mark. What do you do if you mess it up? Well, you could go in and erase, which shouldn't be too hard if you didn't go that dark in the first place. If you really mess up the whole grid, we recommend starting over instead of having a grid that's uneven. All right, so my drawing paper grid is done. Now it's time to do the same thing on my photo paper. Okay, so here's my photo paper, and I'm gonna take that same template and just set it over the top. I'm gonna kind of line it up so that it's equal on all sides, kind of right in the middle. Same thing, push the tape down on both sides, and then come in and finish off the notches all the way around, and then use the ruler to make the grid over my photo. Okay, I finished all my little notch lines. I'm gonna carefully remove this. And same thing as with my drawing paper, I'm gonna start to make the lines across. Now these are gonna be a little bit harder to see, especially where it's dark. Sometimes what you're gonna have to do is use a viewfinder. Mr. Schmitz and I will pass those out to kids. Or you're gonna have to kind of tilt your paper a little bit so you can see the lines better. They're right here and right here. Do the grid now on your photo. Okay, the last thing I need to do is label each of these. Because my photo is vertical, I'm gonna have my drawing paper go vertical. If I had a horizontal photo, then I'd wanna make my drawing paper horizontal for labeling. I personally like to do A, B, C, D, up and down, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 across the top. And when you label it, you have to label the middle of it. And just do it nice and light. A, B, C, that's not a B, there we go. D, all the way down, F, and then across the top, you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, like this. The final thing we want you to do, just in case things get mixed up, you're gonna put your name down here in the corner and what class you have, so that we can keep these in nice order, nice and flat and clean for you. Okay, that's it for today. I have both of my photo papers, B2 and my name, B2 and my name. The grids are done, and I need to just now label this one too so that it matches. All right, work hard, help each other succeed by not interrupting each other. Please be gentle with the rulers so that they don't bend and they stay nice and straight for all of our classes. Thanks a lot.